Hello everyone, welcome back to Namma LaEx Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 144. In this episode, we will be discussing a very important topic, especially from your mains perspective. That is India-Bangladesh Water Treaty, that is Ganges Water Sharing Treaty. Okay, we will see why it is in news, why it is important for us to discuss at time, and also what are its provisions and what are the challenges and what will be its implications on India and Bangladesh relations. And also, if time permits, we'll discuss India-Bangladesh relations in the same video, or else we'll bring another video discussing the holistic view of India-Bangladesh relations and also implications of recent political upheaval in the Bangladesh. Everything will be discussed. So this is one aspect of the IR which is going to be covered for you. Then, why it is in news? And then, what is Ganges Water Treaty? Highlights and issues. In syllabus, it comes under GS2, paper 2, that is international relations, and subtopic India and its neighborhood relations. And also, very important for India's very own neighborhood first policy. Okay, so context is India plans to reassess and renegotiate the 1996 Ganga Water Sharing Treaty with Bangladesh as it expires in 2026, completing its 30-year tenure. Okay, so the treaty was signed in 1996 and it is coming to a close in 2026, so there is a need for renegotiating. Then, so some basics about the Ganges Water Treaty. First is when it was signed. It was signed in December 12, 1996 by the then Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda of Karnataka, meaning he was representing India but he was from Karnataka, and between PM Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh. PM Sheikh Hasina, who was unfortunately made to flee the Bangladesh in the recent political upheaval and who got asylum in India and which became an important significant issue between India and Bangladesh. We will discuss that again later, but just for your information. So the purpose of this treaty is to ensure equitable sharing of dry season flow of the Ganges, especially at the Farakka barrage. We'll discuss what this Farakka barrage is as well. So very important point to note here is equitable sharing of the dry season flow of the Ganges, because when it is winter or when it is monsoon or when it is rainy season, Ganga will be overflowing. There is no need for any sharing treaties then, because both the countries will get equal water as well or more than what they deserve. So duration, it was signed for 30 years from 1996 to 2026. So now it is completing. That is why it becomes very important. It can be a question in your prelims also, but there can also be a question in mains as well. Then, so the key provisions are applicable period was between January 1 to May 31, that is the lean season or dry season. In that dry season, there was a sharing formula at the Farakka barrage. Before we understand the sharing formula, first we need to know what is this Farakka barrage. Okay, so Farakka barrage is a barrage constructed by India between the diversion of Ganga into Hooghly and Padma river. Okay, so we know that Ganga river flows into Bangladesh, but before it flows into Bangladesh or when it enters the Bangladesh, it diverts into two sub-rivers. One is Hooghly, which passes through our very own Calcutta, and another one is Padma, which is seen as a lifeline of Bangladesh. Okay, which is later joined by Brahmaputra and then it is called as Meghna, etc., etc. That is not necessary for now. But at this confluence, there is Farakka barrage. The major aim of Farakka barrage is to avoid siltation of the river. Okay, there is a outlay for where the silt is collected and the river flow is maintained during the dry seasons especially. And the aim of Farakka barrage is that enough water is available in Hooghly river so that it can support Calcutta. Okay, so that it can support West Bengal. And Padma river, anyway, it gets water as it flows throughout the year. So this is Farakka barrage. At this Farakka barrage, there is a sharing formula between India and Bangladesh. That sharing formula is that if the water level is less than 70,000 cusecs, then it will be 50-50% split for India and Bangladesh. If the water level is between 70,000 to 75,000 cusecs, then Bangladesh gets 35,000 and the rest will be given to India, that is 40,000. If the water level is above 75,000 cusecs, then India gets 40,000 and Bangladesh gets the rest. Okay, this is the formula that was devised in 1996 between India and Bangladesh. Okay, then there is also an alternate arrangement, that is from March 11 to May 10, both gets 35,000 cusecs alternatively every 10 days blocks. Okay, because this is the driest or the most leanest period of the season. So in that period there is another alternative arrangement that both countries get 35,000 cusecs with an alternative day period of 10 days. Okay, so there is also no minimum guarantee, that is if the flow is less than 50,000 cusecs, both countries consult under article 2. Okay, under article 2, so they will be consulting again and they will renegotiate the sharing water. And who monitors this? There is a joint reverse commission, that is JRC, which monitors the sharing of water. And the project rates, both can build projects for irrigational and navigation, both in the sense both India and Bangladesh can build projects for the irrigation purposes. Okay, so this is some of the key provisions of Ganges water treaty between India and Bangladesh. Then why India wants reassessment? Why does India wants to go for reassessment now? First and foremost thing is the treaty period is getting over. The 30 years for which the treaty was made is being completed now. So treaty is expiring in 2026, opens window for renegotiation, and also there are rising water needs both in India and Bangladesh, especially from the perspective of Indian states of West Bengal and its neighboring states. Okay. Increased irrigation in West Bengal and the adjoining states. Also, siltation issues affecting the Kolkata port, because Farakka barrage is aimed at reducing the siltation. Some of the silt, even though the siltation project is there, some of the silt gets carried on and then it is dropped from Hooghly to the Kolkata port. Okay, this has to be addressed again. And urban and industrial demand is increasing, especially because of the growth of Kolkata. And there is also flexibility issues, that is treaty lacks climate resilience clauses, because it was devised in 1996 when the term climate change was not even a news then. Okay, so the climate change clauses were not considered during that time. So now the time is there that we need to consider climate change. Okay, and state backing. West Bengal supports the treaty revision, obviously, because it is going to affect their interest. So India may propose a shorter, more adaptive treaty model similar to the changes proposed in Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan. Okay, so there can easily be a question about issues with India and its neighborhood countries with regard to water sharing treaties. You can easily make a case for all the important countries or all the important neighborhood. For example, with Pakistan, we have Indus Water Treaty. With Bangladesh, we have Ganga Water Treaty and Teesta Water Treaty, which has been a bone of contention between India and Bangladesh, especially between the state of Sikkim and Bangladesh. And with China on Brahmaputra. Okay, where China is considering to build a dam which is bigger than the Three Gorges Dam, which is going to be the largest dam in the world, which is going to impact the flow of Brahmaputra in the lower riparian states of India, especially northern states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Tripura, etc., etc. And with Nepal, we have Kalapani Treaty, and with Nepal we have Mahakali treaty with respect to Mahakali river, and also Hanuman Nagar barrage Hanumannagar barrage with respect to Kosi. Okay, I am not able to recall any with respect to Bangladesh. So these are some of the important water issues that India is facing with its neighborhoods. So this can easily be your mains question this year. So make a point of these things. What are the important provisions of Indus Water Treaty with respect to Pakistan? And we already discussed this one. And what is the impact of dam which is going to be built by China? And what are the India's responses to this? And what is the issue with Nepal? Because of the changing dynamics in Nepal politics, anti-India sentiment is growing on in the neighborhood. So what will be its impact? And also there is also anti-India sentiment between India and Maldives as well. India Out campaign was carried out in Maldives recently, and that can also be a question for you. So just have an idea about all these important water treaties. Similar to how the issue is there with respect to Ganga Water Treaty, that it is outdated, it was for 30 years old, and climate changes was not considered. Similar things can be said with respect to Indus Water Treaty. I'll just give a framework how you can make a note or answer for this one. For example, Indus Water Treaty, it is outdated, almost 60 years old, almost 60-year-old treaty, and also doesn't take climate change into consideration, doesn't take India's needs into consideration, and it was skewed in favor of Pakistan. India gets only 20% of the water, skewed in favor of Pakistan. And also this treaty has been used as a weaponization of this treaty by the Pakistani people or the government, weaponization of the treaty. So, and also this can be used as a counter for Pakistani's terrorist attacks. Okay, this can be used as a bargaining power by India for in response to terror attacks. So all these points can be in your answer when you write a mains answer with respect to Indus Water Treaty. So what is needed when they ask what should be the way forward, you can just address this. Okay, considering climate change into the climate change in the new treaty, and also bringing a neutral player such as World Bank again back to the treaty, and also considering the needs of the Indian riparian states. Okay, all these things can be in your answer, which completes your answer. Okay, fine. Now going back to the topic. So what will be the implications of the treaty negotiation for Bangladesh? Okay, first and foremost, there is ecological risk, that is reduced flow could worsen salinity, irrigation shortages, and drinking water crisis. Okay, Bangladesh is a lower riparian country whose economy is completely dependent on the rivers, especially the Ganges or Ganga river. So if there are any changes to the flow of the river, there will be implications on its ecology, especially in salination, irrigation, and drinking water. And also there have been past shortfalls as well. That is, from 1997 to 2016, Bangladesh got less than agreed water in 65% of the years. Okay, so there is also this reason that Bangladesh might quote that we are already getting lesser water than which was agreed in the treaty, then why is the need for new treaty? Okay, and then economic and social impact. It can have a harmful impact to fisheries and agriculture. Bangladesh economy is completely dependent on the fisheries and agriculture, and it can impair river navigation in delta regions. Okay, and then it can also have political fallout. How Indus Water Treaty is being used as a weapon by the Pakistani government, same thing can be used by Bangladesh here. Okay, treaty seen as unfair by some in Bangladesh, renegotiation could cause domestic unrest and diplomatic friction. Okay, so what Bangladesh did with respect to Teesta River Water Treaty, where they tried to internationalize Teesta River Water Treaty, where the treaty actually was fair to Bangladesh, which agreed for in Teesta River Water Treaty, which was mediated by World Bank, I guess, mediated by World Bank. According to this, 40:30:30. Okay, 30 for Bangladesh, 30 for India, 40 for ecological safety. But Bangladesh said that this is unfair and Bangladesh should be getting more water, etc. etc. So they tried to internationalize the issue and make India the villain. Same thing can be followed in this particular treaty as well. So keep an eye on this treaty, keep an eye about how the changes are going to be considered in this treaty as well. So this ends our discussion for the day. I will bring another video with respect to India and Bangladesh relations, where we will discuss holistically what are the issues with respect to India and Bangladesh, what are the key areas of cooperation, and rest of the things. But now, if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.